Welcome, John, and I'm happy to make this short video with you. We are planning to have this event in April in Denmark with you coming to Copenhagen and doing your circling work. And to say just a few words about it, it has been an amazing discovery for me to participate in circling in Holland and also in the US. I have for several years been looking for a relational tool, a relational way to work with what's in between us. And when I found the approach that you and Sean are into and saw the effects and how you work, then I thought, okay, we have to take this to Denmark too. But circling is a concept that is quite hard to grasp. So could you put into words what is circling?
I'll give it a go. Essentially, it's just really slowing down and becoming present with what's happening when we're in connection with others. And during the weekend, we'll have lots of build-up exercises to really support people in doing that. And then as time goes on, we'll move into the main practice where one person has the attention of the group of, say, 6 or 7 people. And we really just be with that person in the moment with sharing our authenticity of really what it's like to be with them in the moment, but also to be with them in a way where we're not trying to change them or fix them, but just to really actually get what it's like to be them in that moment and to follow our curiosity as if, to let go of our assumptions and really get close to them while at the same time sharing what's true for us in the moment. Yeah.
And if you should say a little bit about the story behind circling, how did it emerge?
Yeah, there's quite a funny story. I mean, it grew out of San Francisco with a guy called Guy Senstock, who is kind of a philosopher genius who just kind of stumbled across this new way of relating, and a radical curiosity was at the base of that. And then it was moved forward by Decker Kuhnov and Authentic World, which brought much more of an integral kind of lens and perspective to it, which, so it can be really seen as an integral practice. It's a practice of integrating what's inside of us. It's a practice of integrating our connections with other people. So it's not just like tolerating everything, but there's with the authenticity, there's a real discernment to it as well. And it's just kind of grown and grown, and people can normally just taste very early on that there's something quite deep about this practice and something simple and different that just opens things up.
Yeah. And in relation to opening things up, what will you say are typically the effect, or what are you getting out of it? Why do we need to circle anyway?
Right. I'd say there's 3 main things. First one is just personal insights that you'll get. So blind spots. A common phrase is that after you've been circled, you feel a lot more yourself, which is strange in a way, but it's like you really get to access parts of yourself that you didn't know were there. So for me, two things showed up very strongly in my first couple of circles. One was like an anxiety that had always kind of been there in the background with people dissolved and made me a lot more expressive, and it really showed me a whole new way to relate to that energy inside of me, which I then took forwards. And another one was suddenly it was like the leader in me showed up in this one circle, and I was able to speak about what I had to offer and in a really visceral way, and was witnessed by people. And then, I had no sense of that before in my life, and then it started to take shape after that. So people always get kind of insights, deep insights about themselves, which once you've seen that, you can then start to make changes and start to integrate those things into your life.
Mm. And how about the participants, not the focus person, but the participants? Some might think that, okay, isn't it boring just to sit there and circle one person at a time? What's your experience with that?
Yeah, my experience is that the more I've done it, it's like the more you can relate to every person who's being circled. So in a way, every person's circle is like your own, because I've never actually been in a circle where I've got bored, because when we're actually getting to what's happening, because it's just deeply human themes that come up over and over again. And that's one of the beautiful things I've got from circling, is kind of seeing that underneath our outer layers there is a consistent humanity, or some parts that we can just relate to and connect to. And that's kind of the big other thing that people get from the weekends, is just a huge sense of intimacy and connection with other people in the workshop, but also a sense of how that came about and how that can be created, so that it's not just a weekend experience. There's kind of practical tools and realizations to help people have more powerful connections and communication in all their life.
Yeah. Some might think that it sounds like psychotherapy, and some people don't want to, go into psychotherapy. For many reasons. And I know you are not seeing this as a psychotherapy, but could you say something about in what way you...
Sure.
Yeah.
So one of the sayings that we'd use is, the only place to get is to more where we are right now, or to be more connected. So rather than therapy, which is kind of focused on a therapeutic process, we're just focused on actually connecting and getting a shared understanding of what's happening. So it's kind of coming from a different perspective. The interesting thing is that we find from that perspective of just meeting people where they are and being in that together, with the authentic feedback as well, is that incredibly therapeutic things happen, but there's not a directionality to try to make that happen. There's a real focus on just being met in places where you're not normally met. And that creates a space for openings and deeper feelings to emerge.
Yeah, I must say that how you respond is also how I experienced it myself. So I think this will be all for now. So I'm just looking so much forward to see you in Copenhagen, and hopefully a lot of Danes will have the opportunity to dive into this practice and explore the relation. And looking forward to see you. And
I've just got one more piece I want to add in, if if we've got time, and it's more on the you could say the spiritual side of things.
Yeah.
But we get non-spiritual people coming to these workshops, but predominantly people have done meditation or are on what they would describe as a development or spiritual path.
Yeah.
And I love that you don't need to be, but I want to be direct about that, because I've been interested in that for 12 years now and done a lot of meditation, but it's been in circling that I've experienced my highest kind of awakening states and realizations, and this idea of waking up together.
Yeah.
And the we space and the realizations together in the moment is a real integral part of it for me. And we have some really incredible experiences of that, and most people who come in do get a taste of that over the weekend.
Yeah. And I can actually add to that, because we're in some of my circles, I've also explored that it's possible to go to stage of consciousness in a group formation that's not available for the individual. That's my sense. It's like the shared group field expand the consciousness beyond what's really possible in the I space.
Yeah.
So I think a new type of spirituality really has to be shared in a collective sphere.
Right.
That's for me a very important part of the new type of spirituality.
exactly. And it's a very full one. It's not just an emptiness where we're kind of resting in the witness or in spirit. It's one that's inclusive. It's like a descending spirituality as well that includes
Yes,
every part of us. And
exactly.
when we meet in that, there's a fullness that's just incredibly special.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. Okay. A very important part to add. So, have you anything further you would like to?
No, just to say, Copenhagen's been on our radar for many years, and we're doing it all around Europe and America, and it's growing quickly. But just very excited to come to Copenhagen. I think it's going to be a hub, and working with you is exciting, and
Mm,
I think we can have a lot of fun there.
absolutely. Okay, John.
Thanks very much.
Well, thank you very much, and seeing you in April.
Yeah, see you in April.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.